welcome everybody to Let's Talk, the Todd Worsham Show. Hi, everybody. So, a lot of things have happened since last Thursday. Oh my God. Actually, it's not a laughing matter. And if you even, if you have a phone, then you know what I'm talking about. Former President Trump was shot at Saturday, July 13th. I happened to be actually watching the rallies. Believe it or not, I try to watch everything that all the candidates do, even Kennedy, Biden. Most of the people I know don't watch Biden, but I watch him. I want to see I want to hear what he says, and I want to see what he looks like, and I want to make my own judgment or my own conclusion. I guess I shouldn't use the word judgment, but my own conclusions or my own, I want to do it for myself. I don't want to listen to other people, because anybody that has ever known me, especially in my family, knows that I don't listen to other people. It's probably, yeah. Some things I should have, and some things I shouldn't have. So it's right. You know what I'm getting at. I'm just being playful. So on a serious note, the show's going to get a little serious here, because I happened to be watching the rally live, and it was really weird because it was almost like 9/11. It was like that surreal image that event that you're watching unfold, but you're not really comprehending what's going on in your thinking, because your brain's, your eyes are seeing what's happening, but your brain isn't processing it properly. And it's a really weird phenomenon. Because I can remember, because I happened to be home. We were home on 9/11, and I actually remember watching the videos on that. And even though, that was way more catastrophic, and 2,000 or 3,000 people died. I'm not comparing Trump to 9/11, so don't do that with me. What I'm just saying is the surrealness of it was kind of, for me, it was like that, because I'm sitting there watching, and then all of a sudden I see Trump flinch, and then in a nanosecond he's down on the ground, and then Secret Service jumps up. And what's even funnier than that is the shortest Secret Service person that was there was on the side of the sniper. Okay, so I know tons of conspiracy theories are going to come. Well, they're already out. Go watch Alex Jones. He's going ballistic right now. Whether you like him or not, I think he's a little over the edge, and I think that's why he's in the predicament that he's in. But the honest truth of his prophecies are they're pretty accurate. And actually, I think he even does predictions, which I think I've said on my show before. Prophecies are what could happen, and predictions are what will happen. So they're different. Like the Bible's full of prophecies. Okay, so that doesn't mean that Armageddon, and it doesn't mean the rapture, and it doesn't mean that all these things are going to happen. What it means is, if you don't follow what you need to do, then this is an outcome that can happen. So, but at any rate, so if you're on X, and it's really weird, because I haven't really seen too much Facebook traffic at all. Mainly just people just sending memes or whatever, to each other or whatever. But I haven't seen like anybody famous or any like news feeds or any. Now, mind you, I haven't really gone in I don't really do Facebook, so I haven't really gone in and researched that. But I think it was the day of, and I believe it was the day after. I I went through my Facebook and I didn't really see anything. But I think one person had a post, and other than that, I didn't see anything. Because a lot of times what happens, people will post stuff up there, and then Facebook will put that little quote up there that says, we don't, we consider this disinformation, or we can't validate this, or whatever the meta statement is. But at any rate, so the conspiracies are out, and I have to admit, some of them I like. Actually, I'm only reading the ones I think I like, because some of them start out and it's just dumb. So you can usually tell within the first sentence what direction things are going. So, but anyway, I was in the military. I was trained with a weapon. I was a tank driver, and I also had to learn how to shoot the tank. I had to learn how to shoot several different weapons, including the law, which is like a bazooka. And we were taught combat rules, combat things. We were taught to camouflage. I wasn't like a sniper, and I didn't do any sniping. But just being in the military, you get like basic rules that you have to follow. And one of those rules that I believe has saved my life on multiple occasions, at least 3 that I know of, is the military I was in taught you to know what's going on around you 24/7. So if you're anywhere in a situation, or you're like going to dinner or going to a concert or whatever, it's not that you have your guard up. That's not what it means. What it means is just that you're aware. So, and I don't know if this is the same for all military people. I know it is for me. I did not serve in combat. I was in the early 80s during the Reagan years, so of course there was no wars during that time. So I didn't serve war, but I did do a lot of war games. I mean, a lot of them. I was in a combat ready unit, which means that we were always ready for to get a call at 1 o'clock in the morning and get dressed up and go. But anyway, so I've learned some basic rules, basic things. And when I saw how close and where that sniper was, let's call him the assassin, the assassin, because there was the assassin, and then you had the snipers, whether it was SWAT or SS. God, that doesn't even sound right. Secret Service, that almost sounds like Hitlerish. I don't even want to say that, SS. Wow. But at any rate, the Secret Service. And there's just a lot of little things that don't add up. Like, for example, that woman being at the forefront of the cover up to cover Trump. And Trump, I believe, is like 6'5", and she's like 5'4". Now, I don't even understand why that person, it has nothing to do with being female. I don't understand why that person was put in that detail, because that doesn't even make sense. Anytime you have a presidential detail, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to go off military common sense, and I'm going to say that everybody protecting that person should be equal to, if not taller than that person. I believe that would be a requirement. I have no doubt in my mind. So, that's kind of the first blip that I saw. And the other thing that was really weird that I think made it surreal was it's like nobody in the audience was reacting. And I mean, this guy got off 8 shots. I believe that's the final number. That's the last number I heard. And he got off 8 shots before the snipers took him out. So think about this. You have the Secret Service in sniper positions all around the rally. And that sniper was able to get off 8 freaking shots. 8. I don't know. I'm ex-military, and I'm telling you right now, that's just fucking unheard of. With that many snipers, Secret Service snipers, SWAT, whatever they were, up on the roofs, and everybody they had in place, that assassin should have never even been up on the roof in the first place. That shouldn't have happened. And not only that, but I think it was on Newsmax or somewhere. I don't remember where I saw it at, but I saw it on some news feed where some guy with a red MAGA hat with actually it was a visor with it looked like Carrot Top. He had a big red head, big old like red afro, orange afro, and whether I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but he claims that him and several other people went over to the police and over to the Secret Service and told them that there was a guy, obviously civilian, not military or not Secret Service, that was going up on the roof with a fully loaded rifle, fully dressed, scope, everything, pod, all laid out, full-on blown assassin package. And he just walked up in front of everyone. And see, that's the other thing that bothers me too, is now I know people always Monday quarterback, but I know myself, and I know that if I would have been there and if I would have been that guy, I wouldn't have let that dude get on the fucking roof. I'd have beat the shit out of him right there where he stood, and I'd go to jail. Or I'd be a hero. I don't know, but if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So I mean, everybody that saw this guy knew that he was not part of the Secret Service or part of the security system for the rally. I mean, several witnesses have stated this, and I don't understand, if you got snipers all around, how did snipers with scopes not see 100 and something yards away? None of this makes sense, So you can go back to Alex Jones, and there's other peoples that are always saying, there's other people that are also saying the same thing, that there's an agenda to make sure that Trump is assassinated. The elites aren't going to let him succeed because they know he's going to win the election. Whether you're right or left, it doesn't matter. I fuck politics. This isn't about politics. This is just situational common sense, asking the questions, planting the seed. I like to plant the seed. So, I mean, that's all we're doing here. We're just, I'm just asking you to just look at it in a common sense view. And if you have any military background, or if you have any weapons background, or if you're an avid shooter or any of that kind of stuff, you know what I'm talking about. So when you're either in the military or you're like in like a gun world, there's rules, and the peoples abide by that. And in the military, you got what the military code of justice, United States Military Code of Justice. Yeah, the little book they used to have. But anyway, so I mean, you got rules. There's guidelines. There's parameters. There's red lines. There's things, and you got to follow these things. And when you look at something and you see how many things fail, and you look at the chain of events, and you step back and you start scratching your head, and you're like, well, wait a minute. That rule was broken. That rule was broken. That law was broken. That, all these SOPs, they're broken. Who does that and still has a job? Hell, I'm in aviation. If I break the rules or laws or whatever, I go to jail, federal prison. Being an aircraft mechanic's not a joke. You can go to prison, federal prison. It's a federal crime. If I forge something at work or if I do something knowingly and willfully to hurt people, I get prosecuted. That's the oath I took to become an FAA certified aircraft mechanic, you know? So same thing with the military. I mean, you take these oaths, and what kind of military person does it take to be in the military and let an assassination of a former president happen? So I don't know. This whole thing just and again, I'm not a conspiracy freak. I mean, I just like to look at things, and just look at things and just ask questions. I mean, I don't know all the answers. I just want to ask, so what the hell happened here? I mean, it's unbelievable. And then there's the struggle, where Trump says he's been asking for more security. And then, the Secret Service says that's bullshit. And, he's got everything, I think the administration said that he's been able to have everything that he's requested. And Trump is saying no. And so it's a he said, she said type deal. But I'm apt to, and it's not political, I'm apt to believe Trump more than I would believe Biden, because Biden is probably the single most easiest person to go online and find a lie on. I don't know of a single person I've ever met in my life that chronically lies that bad. Even back in my fucking heyday, back in the early 80s when I was all fucked up, I lied, but I didn't lie like that. I mean, I did. I did some stupid things when I was young. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, it's just, that was just part of my wall. It was part of my growing process. That's what the Lord needed me to do for whatever reason. Maybe to be here on this podcast with you today. I don't know, but I did them and I lived them, and they're a part of me. Just another brick in the wall. So back to the seriousness. I really don't know what to make out of this whole situation. All I can say is I thank God that he was not killed. I really do, because I think that would have really hurt our country. Whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. We should not be living in a place where you have to worry about getting shot. Doesn't make any sense. Who in the hell wants to live in an environment where you have to worry about being shot? Name me one person. Give me a comment. Really? You want to live in a city where you can't walk down the street without getting raped or getting mugged or getting shot or stabbed? Is that the kind of society that you want? Of course not. Nobody wants that. So then why the fuck is it happening? And this is basically why I stand behind Trump, is because of the border, the fossil fuels. Fuck it, we don't need to use the fossil fuels. Just because we have it doesn't mean that we can't produce alternative fuels and alternatively like hydrogen and water and well, that would be hydrogen. But I mean, there's other fuels to use, and I have no problem with using those and selling the oil everywhere else. See, that's what people don't understand. It's not all or nothing. It's we can pump the oil, help the world, and we can kind of go green ourselves at the same time. But electricity isn't the way, not the way that it is now. I mean, if we build Tesla towers, or we can activate the pyramids, or if we can figure out if we can figure out how to reactivate the pyramids, or how to build our own pyramids to do what they did, we wouldn't be going through this, because electricity would be everywhere, and all you would do is just get in your freaking car and push the button and go. And there would be no batteries, there would be no power stations, there would be no limitations of where you could go or what you could do, unless there wasn't an electrical field there. Because it'd be, I don't know why you'd want to electrify the whole planet, but I don't know if I would do that. I think I would just electrify the cities, and I don't know. That'll have to be a different episode, because I got ideas on that. But at any rate, so that's why I back Trump up. Biden is obviously pretty much brain dead, and if you are so anti-Trump that you would rather vote in a dead person than a person who is going to help your life, I don't know. All I can tell you is I did the math after I got nailed on taxes this year, and altogether with inflation, with the cost of electricity, food, gas, and taxes, I'm losing almost $28,000 a year. That's insane. And that all happened in like 1 year. It's like 1 year I was doing great. I had money in the bank. Everything's going awesome. And then next thing I know, it's like, why aren't I saving money? Because I went out and I did a bunch of things. I did a bunch of medical things. For those of you who've been watching me from the beginning, I used to wear glasses. I don't wear I do wear glasses, but not as much. I don't really need them anymore. So I had 2 eye surgeries and a kidney surgery. And I used my money to pay for those things, thinking that, well, that's no big deal. I can save this much a month. I've always saved this much a month. I can replenish my account in a couple months. And then all of a sudden it wasn't getting replenished. And I was like, what's going on? So I sat down and started crunching some numbers through my bank account, and with the tax rates, because my tax, I don't know what they did, but I got to pay 3 times more taxes for the same amount of income. I don't understand it. So Saturday was really, I don't know. It kind of put me in a daze for a couple days. Actually, it really did affect me, because I'm not a worshiper. I don't believe in putting people on a pedestal. I believe that we're all created to do what we do, and some people get to be Trumps, and some people get to be aircraft mechanics, and some people get to be doctors. Some people get to be crackheads, alcoholics, boat racers. We all get to do something different, and that's just the way I look at it. Because if you start looking at it any other way, then you start getting envious and you start getting jealous, and it's just a whole bunch of stupid shit happens. And I've never been jealous or envious of anybody else ever. That just doesn't exist with me. But anyway, I'm getting way off the track. My ADHD, I'm sorry. And I'm talking about myself, which I probably shouldn't do. There's not enough episodes for that. Or maybe I should just make a podcast, Todd Stories, because I got millions of them. But anyway, so this whole shooting thing, I don't know. The whole thing, it's almost like it was a movie. Like it wasn't really real. But it was. It really did happen. So I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I've been lost. I have been thinking about this since probably about Monday, because for all Saturday night and Sunday, I was kind of just in shock. I just, it just, to me, to lose Trump, I think that would be detrimental to the planet. And I don't mean that like as putting him up on a platform. Trump is the type of person that does what he does, and he is fucking good at what he does. Just because like for example, I'm in leadership, okay, and I have subordinates, and they're not all good, if you know what I mean. The average age at my work is, I believe, 22 or maybe 24. That's the average. That's the average age, except for a handful of us dinosaurs, baby boomers. Other than that, the average age at my work is I believe it's 24. Two people on my crew are 20 or under. So it's like, I don't know. It's just scary, and we need direction. And I think the United States should be the leader of getting back to good. In my opinion, the things that have been happening in the last probably, I would say it started in 2000. I want to say when Obama got elected, 2008, right? 12? God, I don't remember. I think it was 8. Yeah, because I was in New Mexico. Yeah, in 2008. Since then, that's when the downfall of, and everybody just thinks it's America, but you got to remember that Obama went over there to the Middle East and totally just fucking scattered the borders. Hell, he tried to bring down Egypt, but thank God Egypt had a coup and it came back to its senses, and it returned itself back to a sovereign nation and closed its borders and stayed out of all the bullshit. Because what Obama did is he opened up all the borders in Europe, and he mixed all these people up. Here we go back to religions. That's why I hate religions. I do. I hate them. I despise religions. They're just disgusting. They're you want to believe in God, that's one thing, but you don't need a religion to be with your maker. I'm telling you this. You don't. And it doesn't mean you don't have to believe in the Bible. It doesn't, whatever, but I'm getting off track again, so I apologize. Oh, Trump. I don't know. I really love him and I hate him. So all I know is I believe that he is the person that's going to get things back to good. And I believe that. And I can't tell you why or anything. It's just I just know it. It's he's the one. And I don't mean that in a worship way. I just mean that in a way that that's what his job is. Just like you are a broker or a nurse or whatever your job is. I mean, that's what Trump's job is. It's no different. So be like Trump. Be good at what you do. I mean, I make mistakes. Every day I make mistakes. But I strive to do my best, and every day I try to do better. I've been doing this for 38 years, and I learn something new every day. Every day. I never stop learning. It's an incredible field. I mean, so July 13th, 2024. It's going to be a day to remember. It's definitely going to be a day to remember. Anyway, everybody, hope that wasn't too bland or too blah, blah down in the dumps, but shooting happened. Donald J. Trump was almost assassinated, and the whole thing just looked like it was staged. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I first started reviewing it and looking at it, I didn't know if it was the Republicans or the Democrats that did it, or the CIA or the Secret Service or the Biden administration. I mean, it's like I'm telling you, don't believe everything that you read. I mean, please don't do that. But read everything. Just read everything. And once you start reading things, then certain things will start making sense, and you'll know what's garbage and what's not. But my point being, there was too many coincidences, too many. And if you're in law enforcement, what's the number one thing that you do not believe in? Coincidences. And there must have been probably 15 or 20 of them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of freaking questions. When you stop and you look at the audience behind him, there's questions there. That one guy who got his head blown apart. There's just a lot of questions. So maybe in a few weeks I'll do a follow-up on this. But at any rate, thank you for joining in. Hope it wasn't too sad today. I know I'm usually always happy, but this has got me kind of depressed. I mean, this has got me. I'm not happy, and I wouldn't be happy if it was Biden. So I mean, it's not a political left or right thing. It's a wrong or right thing. And what happened was wrong. And I would say the same thing if it was Biden, if it was Kamala, if it was, a bunch of other people that I can't stand. I don't want to. Nobody wants to see somebody dead. That's insane. So anyway, thank you all for joining today, and join in next Thursday, and we'll see what there's to talk about. All right. Have a good week, and see you next week.